start with the reforms that you're talking about with the assumption that Medicaid expansion is in place moving forward?
Look, I think we talked about this earlier, and by the way, we didn't talk about repealing Medicaid. That came up in some headlines, but the issue is at hand that what I said is, look, I think we're talking about reauthorization and looking at what we can do to continue to keep the things in focus, keep the cost controlled, continue to look for mobility, and access is extremely important, especially in rural areas. Access is extremely important. So we're going to look at those initiatives. I'll have Ron step up too, because I think this Healthier Buckeye initiative is extremely important in talking about this process.
Well, we can have a fight over you know, a topic like you know, the expansion thing, but that's old news. Or we can focus on what we're going to do to actually help people over the rough patches. I think that's where the governor's headed. I think that's where we're headed. That doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything. But I think that the space that we want to work on is one that can be very bipartisan, and we'll focus on, you know, we do have big differences with some of the federal policy that's in place, and we're going to address those, but we're not going to let that get in the way of actually helping the people of Ohio who are struggling. The changes and fixes that need to happen at the federal level, we will address those, and we do have those concerns, but they aren't the expansion question as much as, because that's a gap. That's just a gap. That's another barrier for some people in some spaces to get to better places, and we're focused on helping them get to better places. Now, we're going to come at it from different directions. You know, some would like to see more governmental program than others. Others would like to see more community-based, private sector emphasized approach to this. So we're not going to all come at this from the same perspective, but that doesn't mean we can't work together to find a good place. Barbara?
Thank you. Specific to your question, I only wish that I had an opportunity to see an advanced copy of the budget on whether or not it'll be in there or not. But the reality is that the state plan amendment that is currently in place already has expanded Medicaid in it, so that is really kind of off the table as far as that question. The question comes in is our decision and ability to fund, right? Because that is in our purview and that is one of our responsibilities. You know, as we go forward with this, I think it's very incumbent upon us to make sure that we recognize we're in a unique place, and that is where the federal have come in with this additional layers of dollars that eventually will go away. And if we don't ensure that the Medicaid program is cost effective and that we can justify the dollars we're spent in it, then I think that you can look at any General Assembly's need to roll it back if it's not producing measurable outcomes that are cost effective.